Good afternoon.
What can I do for you?
I'm here to see a Detective Bennett.
Right here.
Dex Heller. Nice to meet you.
Follow me, Mr. Heller. Have a seat. Commissioner Devane asked me to interview you. I'm an instructor here at the police academy.
I know. I looked you up.
Did you now?
Yes, sir. I like to know who I'm dealing with.
So do I. So why don't we start with the obvious question then? Why do you want to become a police officer? You served in the Army.
2 tours in Afghanistan, Bagram, and Kandahar. Then I was promoted to a post in Germany.
You were discharged for assaulting a superior officer.
Yes, sir, but I can explain.
It wasn't a dishonorable discharge, so I'm guessing there's some level of provocation. Still, it's a blemish on your record just the same. What'd you do after you got out?
I worked private security.
I see that on the application, but I don't see any names or references.
They were private clients, high profile, rich. I signed non-disclosure agreements.
Legitimate?
Yes, sir. Corporate heads, politicians, Silicon Valley guys.
What about your last employer, Corinthos Coffee? It's not included on the application. Why is that? You not consider that employer legitimate?
Technically, yes. In reality, no.
Would you clarify what you meant when you said technically yes, in reality no?
I worked closely with Mr. Corinthos. After a period of time, it became clear his business was not one I could support.
Weren't you there nearly 2 years?
It took me a while to figure out how to go about it, but eventually I got out. I planned on leaving Port Charles for good, but
For what?
I didn't like the idea of running away. So instead, I went to see Commissioner Devane. She suggested I become a cop, so here I am.
Started out this interview asking you why you wanted to be a cop. Aside from you saying Commissioner Devane asked you to apply and stating that you wanted to stay in town, you haven't answered the question.
Yes, the commissioner suggested I join the force. I could have refused, but I thought it over and I realized I missed that feeling I had back in the Army.
Which is what?
Doing something good through service. The way I see it, being a cop is like being a soldier. You go through a lot of tough stuff, but it's for a greater good, and it's about serving others.
You took an oath. Serve your country and the Constitution and the military. Law enforcement officers take an oath to support and defend the Constitution and uphold the laws in their jurisdiction. Are you prepared to do that?
Yes, sir. There's another thing. I liked being a part of something bigger than myself. When I was in the Army, the men and women I served with became my brothers and sisters. We were in it together and we had each other's backs. We were doing something real and important. It was hard as hell and it was challenging, but we had a purpose. We believed in a cause so strongly, we put our lives on the line for it. And that gave my life meaning. To protect our way of life and our freedom was the goal. The goal in working private security and working for Sonny was to make money. And that was a stupid and ugly reason to die.
Here's the deal, Mr. Heller. I get what you did in the military. I respect your discretion about your private clients. I don't like the gaps in your work history. But I know that world and I'm familiar with non-disclosures. But what concerns me the most is your affiliation with the Corinthos organization. What you've seen, what you've done.
It's because of the time that I worked for Sonny that I want this. I did things that I regret.
And you think you can make up for them by becoming a cop? Because that's not how this works. The commissioner may have suggested this, but if you're thinking of it as some kind of penance, then don't do it.
I told you, sir. I want a purpose in my life. I need to do better for myself.